The fourth day. Noah Vos, Bear Butte, 1863. When the sun arrived to begin reclaiming the heavens on this morning of his fourth day, Wagachin woke. Pushing aside the disturbing realization that he had fallen asleep, not maintained the vigilance required of him, what assailed him was that in spite of his devoted efforts, no animal had announced a sacred presence to him in any way that assured him of its guidance, protection, power, or blessing. As he let the knowledge encompass him that the night had passed with him asleep, instead of feeling failure, he felt an odd riverine calmness flowing through him. He felt refreshed, as though he had quenched his thirst with fresh snowmelt. Though he had gone without food or drink for the last 3 days, he felt strong. Could sleep alone have done this? Stretching to his full height, his eyes took in the splendid fingers of light that were spreading across the vast grasslands below him. A fierce and unexplainable thrill sprang up in him. He began to dance, no longer knowing nor caring if he were sleeping, dreaming, or moving in the spirit world, for he was experiencing an overwhelming connection, a oneness. Everything his eyes fell upon had a silvered, quavering edge that seemed to move with just the slightest rhythm to his each and every respiration, as though he could breathe in and out the world surrounding him. By pinching the tender skin of his underarm, he thought to break this trance-like state, which is what he assumed was happening due to the various depredations he was putting himself through. But all the wasp-like jabs of discomfort achieved were to send small lightning-like flashes through his vision. His feet seemed to move him without effort. He found his lips opening in a chant. So dancing and with song, he moved through a new world where every leaf, limb, bird, and wind moved in mysterious accord. The sun burned overhead before his throat creaked dryly shut. He realized that the rapturous movements of his body were a mockery, a foolish shuffle lacking everything but the perseverance of a white-haired cripple, lame deer. Sweat sheeted his limbs, stung his eyes, which were now clenched almost shut. Obviously he had been shuffling blindly around. A pall of dust surrounded him. Standing still for the first time in hours, he felt the wind wrap him in an embrace as never before. He hesitated, waiting. Just seconds earlier he had been exhausted, dumbfounded. An alertness rose in him to meet this, which held him as no arms ever had. Something was coming. The hair on his arms rose. Though his eyes were still closed from the glare of the midday sun, he sensed a rapidly descending darkness. The wind abruptly released its hold, and a chill fell heavily upon him, causing him to drop to one knee. His eyes flew open. Below him, the tall prairie grasses were being whipped into huge concentric circles. An abnormally high thundercloud glowed from within, haloed with a crisp edging that shone like Pueblo silver. A thunderous noise bellowed from the heavens, wilder than a stampeding, trampling, snorting, bawling, and bellowing herd of buffalo. He felt his youth and strength as never before, breathing deeply of the ozone-charged air that came upon him like a surging mass. Of the mightiness of the approaching storm bearing down fast from the south, he had no doubt, but he was rooted to this spot with no thought of seeking shelter. His desire for the appearance of his sikun, spirit guardian, was so very strong, but if his handful of winters upon the earth had taught him anything, it was the rewards of patience. He did not question the validity of a world he could not readily see, of the spirit, but he knew, as all the people did, that he inhabited it. While he knew no special ceremonies to summon its messengers, he knew that a palpable sign might be given, a token that he was favored and accepted. He had done all that was required, except, with a twinge, recalling that he allowed sleep to overtake him last night. He thought of the new warrior, his friend Limping Fox, who after his recent quest never left on a raid or hunting party without a proud and prominent display of a fox pelt draped across his back. How Spotted Owl was never without his feather fan. Every grown man carried on his person some indication of his guardian protective spirit. All the displays of power were shown in one's regalia, from the magnificent white buffalo calf robe that Roman nose wore to the small stones worn behind the ears of the strange one, Crazy Horse. All gave evidence that the unseen had been seen. A headdress of war eagle feathers, a necklace of great bear talons, numerous scalps that adorned shirts, shields, and bridles of the war ponies. Even the visible battle scars spoke to all that could see them of honors won and given for personal exploits, but of what was kept secreted in a fragrant bundle known as a sequin. This was a gift, not earned, but given, the sacred medicine power revealed only to others by the token of the animal or bird displayed. As he trembled with his great need, an understanding grew in him of how a humbling prayer came to a man's lips. The smaller he felt himself, the greater he felt the Spirit. And yet he felt not separation, but a great draw into union. "I am a mystery to myself," he voiced aloud. "I know not who brought me to this life. I have purified my body, my mind, but I cannot stop my thoughts. I ask for guidance. I will take all that surrounds me, the earth, the sky, the four-legged beings, and those with wings. I seek that my power will come in a guise that I can recognize. I am eager to meet my helper, the strength that will bring me to my life as a man among my people. Hear those above, hear those that move through the air, through water, through me. May I receive a sign to protect me, that I may wear this upon my body, my face, my possessions. Give me a song to sing. You are my helper. Show me a recognizable form, so that your supreme power may flow through me, that I may benefit my people." Wagachin was so intent on voicing what struggled to get out of him that he barely noticed the increasing voice of the wind, the dense lowering of the sky, the chilliness of the air. But when a snapped branch from a willow bush hit his cheek, his eyes flew open, and with expectant terror he knew a vision was arriving at last. Somehow he thought that he would be a mere spectator to a great display. Was he ready for the involvement that would be required of him? It was as though he were a chrysalis, that his world was a casing he had been formed in that suddenly split open, and now he gazed upon another dimension. In one incomprehensible thought he felt like he could both soar above himself on the great wings of a hawk and simultaneously burrow down into his deepest roots like a mere worm. His eyes, his heart, his whole being now achingly open, his heart arching with a strange pain, as though it would burst from the confines of his chest if he dared to free it, to let it grow, a gnawing within. Thus it began. When Spotted Owl saw him coming stumbling, as though in a daze, down from the butte, he knew that the boy had indeed experienced the other world, as he sometimes thought of it. In his wisdom he knew to let the evening unfold gently, as Wagachin would be both excited and exhausted, much given to incoherence. The old man greeted him with a skin of water, instructing him only to take small sips, then guided him to the small fire by his camp. Wagachin was given to small bursts of shivering, even though the night was mild. "Here, sit. I will bring you food. Then you will rest. Tomorrow we will return and seek wise counsel." Wagachin's eyes burnt with the brightness of an evening star, so eager was he to tell the owl all that had transpired in his stay upon the mountain-top. But he found, much to his consternation, that hunger had spoken first at the sight of the steaming bowl the old man now extended to him. "Eat, rest, allow your thoughts to settle before you speak them. The quest was successful, was it not?" His mouth full of tasty rabbit, All he could provide was a strong nod. "It is good." Spotted Owl looked squarely at him, and then went about arranging the sleeping robes for the night. As they rode out in the early morn, Wagachin began to plan how he would tell of his experience. Of these sacred things he found he lacked the right words. The ones lined up on his tongue seemed raw, lacking in beauty, and unsubtle. This boy, who was so graceful in all he did, felt burdened now with the clumsiness of proper speech. This man, Awikasa Wakan, my second father, would not lack words. He had such experience, could heal with plants, talk to animals, tell of things to come. As though Spotted Owl could see into his thoughts, he spoke up. "Wagachan, do not concern yourself with the telling now. Is it not a good day?" Suddenly seeing the golden yellow flash of the meadowlarks rising up from the tall grasses as they passed through them, he laughed, for it was indeed a good day. The air clear and bright, his hunger and thirst were satisfied, and the feel of his pony under him a comfort. They rode along in silence till Wagachin blurted out, "Nothing came to me on the first night, nor on the second day. Just a coyote strolling through my campsite. The next day I thought I heard buffalo approaching, but it was just distant thunder. By yesterday morning I was sure that nothing would reveal itself to me then." "Boy," Spotted Owl said gently, "wait till we have assembled the others. They will all want to hear." Wagachin struggled with his feelings, for had they not together prepared for this quest? Many moons he had sat at the owl's feet receiving instructions carefully. Did he not want to hear of the outcome? How could he wait? And with that he spurred his pony to go faster.